Good afternoon, fans. Welcome to coverage on the Averett Sports Network of the ODAC Women's Tennis Quarterfinals between Averett University and Guilford College. I'm Dominic Porcina, Assistant Director of Athletics Communications. And we're here live at the Averett Tennis Courts here in Danville, Virginia. As number 2 seeded Averett University takes on number 7 seeded Guilford College. Averett earned its berth into the ODAC tournament, cruising through conference play with only one loss. Its only loss being to nationally ranked Washington Lee in the top 30. Guilford College enters into the tournament as the number 7 seed, earning its first berth back into ODAC since 2016, where they lost to Randolph-Macon College. This will be the first time that the Quakers and the Cougars face off this season. Last April, Averett defeated Guilford in a 9-0 sweep and looking to do the same in today's quarterfinal match. We're going to get on with doubles in just a few minutes. Fans, for viewing the screen, the top half will be the courts 2 and 3 view, and the bottom half of the viewing screen will be court number 1 doubles. We'll get lineups to you shortly. right, the doubles teams have taken the courts. Lineups for the Cougars. We'll have the duo of Sadie Candelwall and Jenica Johnson taking on Guilford's Ashley Belknap and Erica Mendez. Over at number 2 in the middle court, we'll have Ravaka Romatononina and Brenda Polikaitis taking on Jolie Novianisvong and Amy Soto Soldago. Number 3 doubles will feature Lisa Batterman, Dolores Sultanova versus Bethany Lupo and Lanaya Ward. Coming into this match, Averett's best duo of Polikaitis and Romatononina. They're 11-1 as a duo together this season with a 7-0 record in ODAC play. Looking to extend that streak in today's match as we kick off play on the number 1 court. Great backhand from Dryson there. Conditions out here seem to be just a tad windy. Could possibly affect some of the volleys and general shots being hit here, but given that these courts are located right next to a hill, I'm sure the players here are used to the conditions. The Cougars look to make it back to the ODAC Tournament Finals, where they did lose to Washington the last year. Look to avenge that loss, make a hopefully deep postseason run with arguably more talented roster, certainly with more depth than last season featured. A lot of newcomers featured for the Cougars, a lot of freshmen who have made a great impact on the roster both in doubles and in singles, giving the option for head coach Burt Poole to use his flexibility to play as many players as needed when he can. Averett did achieve its highest rank in quite a while. They were up as high as number 36 in the ITA rankings for Division III before falling out the weeks prior. Arguably should have made it back into the rankings with the recent run of form, but they're essentially right on the cusp of it. Quaker is starting out solid in these doubles matches. Cougars haven't seen them all season, but we'll see what they can do in these opening points.
So, Dom, you wrote for this team all season. What are some key points we're looking to watch for, as doubles play gets underway here?
As I mentioned before, the middle match, that's arguably our best duo, Polikaitis and Romatononina. They are only a 1 loss in the ODAC. The only loss was to Washington Lee, I believe, a few weeks prior. But overall, we just have really solid depth everywhere. So, honestly, either 3 of these teams could swap between positions 1, 2, and 3 because they're just so talented at doubles. But Coach Poole really thinks that these are the best lineups to get the job done in the ODAC, which they have done all spring.
Looks like we have a .1 over on the far court number 3.
Up 1-0, I think. Should have the break, if I'm not mistaken. So already having advantage and serving up 1-0 is really huge for the squad.
Yeah, as a former player yourself, how important is that early advantage to allow you to sort of take a more aggressive approach throughout the contest?
If you can go up 1-0, win that first game off your opponent's serve, then it gives you more confidence to just take control of your own serve. Because having your opponent already down 2 games puts a lot of pressure on their shoulders to essentially just keep up. Because you're essentially fighting a losing battle. If you're down so many games to begin with, it's really hard to come back, especially if said opponent is serving really solid. Just have to try and keep up.
As you mentioned, serving really solid. We've just had an ace here on quarter 1.
Yeah.
From City and Jenica.
Oh, they're looking really good out there. The duo of Belknap and Mendez here on court 1, featured as their best duo. They are entering at 6-9 on the season, 3-7 in ODAC play, but ODAC is a pretty tough tennis conference, so getting those 3 wins versus good opponents is quite impressive. Renowned as one of the better tennis conferences in Division III. There's just a wealth of good teams around between Washington Lee, Averett, Sweetbriar College, Randolph College. Guilford's, they've returned to form. First postseason appearance in 9 years. Head coach Kim Kleinmeyer over at Guilford has really done a good job with the squad return to the postseason after a rather long hiatus.
You hear all the time how a more experienced team is more likely to make a postseason run in most team sports. Does that translate over to tennis?
It definitely does. I mean, these girls over at Averett, they're battle-tested. I mean, having lost to Washington Lee in last year's ODAC championship, took a few points in doubles. One of the duos, they beat a nationally ranked doubles team, Washington Lee. So they clearly showed they have the talent to beat the best. And especially this season, too. They also played Washington Lee earlier in the spring, and they took the doubles point. Now that this season, with the rule change, you win 2 out of 3 doubles matches, you get 1 point. So they had the early lead and then couldn't pull away in singles because the Generals had a really good singles lineup, but they pushed them to the brink in a lot of matches. So, or essentially right on the cusp of hopefully dethroning the ODAC's premier team in Washington Lee, but I'm sure they'll be able to make that run back to the championship and hopefully match up with the Generals again.
While you were talking, we had a fantastic little swat down right in front of the net by Jason in that little forward position.
They're second their advantage, whatever ball that comes from the baseline that just has a little too much air on it, they pounce on it, try to finish that point early. And so if they're in the far court, if they're just attacking the net person aggressively, they can't return the ball.
There we see it
great
again in the
volley
front
there
court.
by Candlewall.
You saw a lot of emphasis on that in warm-ups as well, with Averett doing a lot of work right at the net. As we see it again on the middle court. I believe that was Roman Antonia. Or is that Poulikitis? Excuse my eyes, folks. Far away up on this hill.
Definitely not the... We've had better views of the other facilities on campus, but we make do what we got here. That's a good baseline shot over there. Although, I was saying earlier, with the wind conditions, the ball isn't going to travel as fast as you plan for it to when you set it for a shot, but if you just angle it right and put enough force on it, you should get it to travel decently. Just long for Joyce in there. Good shots by Erica Mendez for Guilford. court number 1. Averett already has a 3-0 lead on Guilford. Already halfway to that set win and halfway to that doubles point. With tournament play, we're only playing to completion. So as soon as either team gets that doubles point, every other match or anything that's in play stops. No finish there, as well as singles as well.
Fantastic volley over on the far court from
very
Sultanova.
nice there.
Hammered it down the near sideline. Barely a chance for the girls from Guilford to react to that one, Tom.
Yeah. So it was great play over there by Jason over there on number 1. Another great serve by Jason. Averett up on nearly every court. But number 2, Quakers have taken a 1-0 lead with the duo of Soto Salgado and Noe Vanisong. Excuse me, no. The Cougars have taken a 2-1 lead. Live stats aren't fully up to date, but as fully up to date as can be. Hall. Great point on 1 again, man. This number 1 course featuring the longest rallies of any court out there. But the Cougars just digging in there long enough and forcing the unforced error on the Quaker side. Great swingy volley by Belknap, Guilford's featured player on the roster. The number 1 singles player all year, and their 1 doubles duo. Great job by Jason down the line. Just relentless aggression over there. They're not necessarily going just for winners at will, but just staying that point long enough and then taking the opportunity to force the miss from the Quakers. And that's one of the big keys to doubles is while you want to play the long game sometimes as doubles, you want to get that quick finish because of the advantage the net person has. So it's finding opportunity, getting the right angle, set up, and the finish. As number 2 doubles over there, Pulicates Romantonina. There's forcing the long misses. I think Quakers are used to these conditions next to the hill. It's tougher to find your range when hitting against the wind, not hitting with the wind. That's a great overhead by Candlewall. Clearly looking so sharp out there. Candlewall, arguably Averett's best women's tennis player this season. Twice had won ODAC Player of the Week for great performances in singles and doubles versus quality opponents. Seems to be on her way to a first-team selection. Sophomore from Jaipur, India. Really has made her mark on the tennis court for the Cougars. Saw a point of the number 2 doubles. The Quakers keeping it close with Averett. Quality serve there from Batterman over number 3. They have a 2-1 lead, but look to extend that on her serve. Great serve there. Papulakaitis over number 2. Averett's they just seem to find their groove immediately on the serve, getting the ball in play, and then immediately forcing the miss, and the Quakers just getting those quick and easy points. Looks like Core 3's advantage extend to 4-1 as Batterman and Sultanova just remain 2 games away from their set win. Again, just relentless play from the Cougars. Everything seems to be going their way in this quarterfinal match. Elsewhere around the ODAC, we have various other women's tennis matches as they set to face off at roughly the same time, if not earlier, along with Averett versus Guilford today. A few more teams at play. Washington Lee, top seed, will be taking on Randolph-Macon College. Virginia Wesleyan University takes on Shenandoah University in the 4v5 matchup. Number 3, Sweet Broad College taking on number 6, Randolph College. On the same side of the bracket as number 2 seeded Averett versus Guilford. Quarterfinals are the only matches that are hosted by the higher seed. Both the semifinals and finals will be hosted at Washington and Lee University this upcoming weekend. Close call there, number 1. As what looked to be a shot head out by Johnson was corrected to being in. Great gesture by Belknap to give the point to Averett. The shot did look really close. If Candlewall and Jason just remain a game away from a 6-0 sweep. And what would be just their 4th win together as a duo if they get the job done. Like I mentioned earlier, with the depth that Coach Burpool has, he's able to play just an array of so many different doubles lineups. And you think with having a doubles partner, you build that relationship and play a lot of matches together, but it just seems like everyone that you play with, you're able to just build a connection quick and go on with it. Unlucky over there from Jason. Ball looked like it was going to be hit out, but she took the gamble. Unfortunately, did not work out her way. Still up 5-0. Over on the other courts, Ramatoanina and Pulikides lead 4-1, as well as Batterman and Sultanova, who also lead 4-1. So looking like we're coming to a close in doubles play here. That quality passing shot from Candlewall. And that wraps up court number 1. As the Cougar duo takes out Belknap and Mendez 6-0. As Everett's just 1 win away from the doubles point. Sultanova's solid backhand there, forcing the miss from Bethany Lupo. It's easy in tennis to underestimate an opponent and sometimes play down to competition, but they don't look like they're doing that today. You get late into the season, every match feels like must win postseason, no matter who you're playing. And Cougars are doing just that today. Really just playing to their strengths and doing the absolute best they can. Just wide there for Ramatoanina. Quakers are keeping it close there. Score not quite reflecting it, but playing some solid points there, number 2. Battering with a swinging backhand volley for a 3. There it is. Doubles play looks to come to an end. As Pulikides and Ramatoanina take the 6-1 win over the Quakers and clinch the doubles point. And just almost simultaneously, Batterman and Sultanova also take their own 6-1 win, sweeping doubles. And Averett goes up 1-0. Just 4 points away from the quarterfinal win. We'll take a quick hiatus before we jump back into singles play over here on the Averett Sports Network. on today in singles, taking on Chandler Sizemore from Guilford of City Cott. At number 5, taking on Amy Soto Salgado. And number 6, featuring arguably Averett's best singles player this season, Aga Keller, with a team-leading 11 wins, taking on Bethany Lupo from the Quakers. Just a reminder, first team to 4 clinches, so Averett just needs 3 out of the 6 to end play for the day. We've got a very experienced lineup, but youth has made this lineup for Guilford very flexible. Only freshman featured in the singles lineup is Roma Toanina, who, along with Candlewall, has won Player of the Week honors for Averett. Otherwise, we're featuring sophomore Candlewall, sophomore Keller, junior in Asher, and a sophomore in Sultanoa, so relatively young, but experienced all around. Most of these players featured in a lot of matches last spring, and a lot of matches this spring as well. Ramato Anita, especially in particular, along with Keller, already 11 wins in singles, 6-1 in conference play. It's up there in the ODAC with some of the best. Having a great first collegiate season. Over on the Guilford side, they feature some good players as well. Erica Mendez leads the team in singles wins with 10. She's gone 6-4 in the ODAC. Featured against City Candlewall number 2. Next in wins for the Quakers at number 5, Amy Soto Salgado. Has gone 8-7 this year. 5-4 in ODAC play. They have built up the roster in recent years. Some seasons they were struggling to field lineups, but got enough to where they are able to deploy a little bit of depth. They have 4 freshmen in their roster, and almost all are starting. Mendez, a freshman, Sizemore, and Soto Salgado. So half that lineup for the Quakers is all freshmen. So just impressive to take half the lineup being so young and qualify for the ODAC tournament. Most experienced being Ashley Belknap. She's been there for Guilford through years of some struggle, but just has stuck in there and played some solid tennis for the Quakers. She is 6-9 this year, but her 5-5 ODAC record evens out. As Roma Toanina gets that point with a Belknap miss. Should be a quality match between the two. As every court but one has taken the first game in singles. point there. Wow. Sultanova had it won until a great angled shot from Noe on his phone. While doubles may not have gone as long as expected, singles may drag on for quite a bit. And Cougars aren't strangers to longer matches. I mean, Coach Burpool has definitely put them through solid schedule, with building up its resume in past years. You're able to schedule better opponents, non-conference, to play, build your map against. They had opened the season with a really close loss to Mary Washington. They were 27th at the time. That was one of just many ranked matches. They took a point off number 17, Christopher Newport, a renowned school for both men's and women's tennis. They took down Division II Belmont Abbey College in 2 matches, with Averett putting out 2 squads, taking advantage of both of those. Because Washington Lee, as mentioned earlier, took 2 points off them. After taking the doubles point, the Generals just had their might, but in singles, Candlewall, arguably the best win of her career, if not in the season, as she took down Allie Morrell of Washington Lee, ranked 30th in the nation, 19th in the region at the time. Came from a set down and then won the next 2 sets. So clearly, Cougars are able to withstand pressure, fight the long haul, just keep going, no matter what odds they're up against. Otherwise, Averett did have a really solid season. I mean, another great season in the ODAC. Another multi-digit win for Coach Burpool. Reached a milestone on April 1st as the 7-0 sweep over Roanoke marked Coach Burpool's 100th career win for women's tennis. He achieved the same with the men's tennis team, so over 200 wins as head coach, certainly one of the best head coaches for tennis in Averett history. He's just been able to cultivate such a winning culture with all the international players he recruits year after year. They just constantly compete, then in the USA South Conference and now the ODAC. It's a great shot over there from Cott. Great cross-court forehand. So score updates across the way. Tom Antonio leads 2-1 for Belknap. Candlewall up 2-1 on Mendez. Sultanova out to a 3-0 lead on Novi von Isvong. Asher, Cott, and Keller all up 3-0 on their respective opponents. So Cougars really are cruising through this quarterfinal match. Break down for some matches. Roughly 80 degrees as we're reaching peak spring form. Practically summer here over in Danville. After fighting through a tough spring season. A lot of reschedules, really scheduled matches, rain, canceling matches, rescheduling quite a few as well. But we're able to get all these matches in. See, Sultanova just a game away from set 1 win. 5-0. Seems to be a common theme among all these players. They're just yet to drop hardly any games. They've done that a few times this season, where you see a lot of 6-0 wins over some of the other opponents in the ODAC conference. You know, just talent really showing out over their opponents. Asher with a killer forehand there. Quarter 4. Just relentlessly striking the ball. It's a great thing about certain play styles with your opponent. Sometimes you just never know when that great shot's coming. One moment you're in a rally going over a long time, and the next second someone just strikes away past you. No warning at all. Completely overpowering your opponent. The Cougars move on to the semis. They will face the winner of the Vixens from Sweetbriar, Wildcats of Randolph, both of which Averett has faced off against very recent. Those were some of the last matches of the regular season. I mean, just a few days prior, Averett has swept Sweetbriar, who were previously ranked 75th in the nation a few weeks ago. They won 7-0, and then beats Randolph 6-1 to close out the regular season. So Averett clearly has an advantage over both teams if they were to make it to the semifinals, face off against either one of those squads. Long rally here. Marmazzoni to force the miss from Belknap there. Great point. Sultanova just missed that cross-court forehand there. Quality angle there from Noe is fine. Great to see the support of a lot of fans out here with all the spring regular seasons come to a close. Tennis is the only sport in the spring group to be hosting ODAC matches. Elsewhere, we've got a few teams set to play their postseason games. We've got softball, making is the 8th seed, playing this weekend. Baseball playing this weekend as well. Quality point there for Marmazzoni. Really pushing Belknap to the brink there. Closing it out with a volley down the left side. It's great to see the support from the Averett fans here. Men's tennis team as well. Coming out of the support squad. They'll be taking action against the same school, Guilford College, tomorrow. Looking to probably be rescheduled. Rain kind of getting in the way. It was originally scheduled for 2, but rain is in the forecast, so unconfirmed, but likely be scheduled for around 10 a.m. Again, an early match. Beat the rain. Hopefully not to pause things. Sultan Nova. First Cougar to take a set in singles, 6-0. Courts 5 and 6 are close as well. They're both at 5-0 as well. Sadie Cott and Annika Keller respectively. Canewall and Mendez in a real tight match there. 3-2. But Canewall in the lead. One seems to be one of the toughest matches out there. They're the farthest court behind in games played. Every other set on other courts seem to be close to finishing, but number one singles is just an outright battle between Ramatouanina and Belknap. Still only 2-1. Up there. Baseline. A lot of these balls are just landing right on the baseline. Really aiming well for both players. But Ramatouanina gets a clutch point to seal the game. Take a 3-game advantage, 4-1. That's set over there. With Ramatouanina, Canewall's advantage sends to 5-2 over Mendez. Asher on 4-4-1, and Cott and Kellerer both at 5-0. Set to take their first sets respectively. Seventh-seeded Quakers are putting up a quality fight against Cougars. Through that, great point there with Noe Van Isvong just missing that forehand right down the line. Tennis really can be about small margins, as one miss can mean a lot. for losing a game or losing a set even. It seems like the Cougars are taking care of those clutch points to get the games needed to win their respective sets. Sultanova bows back from that point, loss with a great down the line forehand. Seems to be cruising through her match. Yet to drop a game. 6-0 the first, 3-0 the second set as well. Sets 5 and 6 are also a set closer now, as both Cott and Keller take their set 6-0 as well. It's just a great showing from Averett here. Mentioned with Averett playing so many matches with fall invitationals, singles play. Whole singles line was nearing 100 wins. Less than 40 losses as well. At us, winning at a 73% clip, which is just amazing for tennis squad. Just shows how good every single player is and how each one arguably deserves to start in the lineup. As the lineup has rotated an array of matches. Coach Poole has definitely put out various lineups when scheduling consecutive conference matches. One example earlier in March, where Averett played both Lynchburg and Fairham on the same day, was able to implement two great starting lineups and won theirs respectively without dropping a single match. 4-0 against Lynchburg, and then 7-0 against Fairham. Consider an A lineup or a B lineup, but for Coach Poole, there really isn't that. It's just, if you're in form and playing your best on any given day, you deserve to start where you can. That's just a mentality that you have to have sometimes in tennis. While it can be about matchups, certainly being in form helps your case out too. Quite a few freshmen featured. Suna Mass, Evan Schroeder. Murday Post is featured too, with some of the current players advancing up. Being juniors and seniors, we'll probably see more of these freshmen going the next year, getting more time to play. Also on the double side as well, a multitude of just so many different combinations. Only 15 losses combined for all duos, almost 60 wins, and an outrageous 79% win percentage. The singles is just really where they key in and find their groove. Did tip the first set as well, putting 5 of the singles matches just already set up, a set away from winning. Only one still in the first set is one of the best matches of the day between Ramontonina and Belknap. Well, it is 4-1 to the Cougars there. Belknap really is putting up the best fight you can. Windy conditions and hard-hitting shots that Ramontonina is putting up. serving great. Serving great. Every forehand attack seems to be going good. She seems to be hardly missing up there. Sometimes, like, you play so well in that groove, you just seem to forget the score is. Sultanova may be up 6-0, 3-0, but sure it seemed like in her head early. Just serving great as well. Forcing unforced error, very forced error for down that over them. Probably the last home match the Cougars play all season, and they'll likely cap it off really solid. One loss all year at home, but undefeated against Division III opponents. Only loss at home this year was to Division II Shaw University. But otherwise, just really homestand for the Cougars, because they really just defended home court at will. Sultan over there in court 3 just keeps winning game after game, and it looks that just a game away from a win. And Averett's second point today. It extends really to 5-2, but it's been a really long 5-2 first. Typically 5-2 sets don't take as long as they are currently. It's gone on for almost half an hour. Every game seems to be played to its farthest, going to a deuce or multiple deuces. Really just quality showing from both players out there. Caught with some really good, really good mix of slices and topspin shots there over at 5. Just really mixing it up there and forcing her opponent into a frenzy, essentially. She sets up poised for a win for the Cougars as well, 6-0, 3-0. And one is a great lob for Romatonino. From a very tough position there, just gets the ball right over Belknap's head and puts it out of reach. Salgado with a killer forehand there. shot by Kopp there. Cruising her match as well. Up a few games in her second set. Taking the first 6-0. Kelleher, the flawless lead as well. 6-0, 3-0. Just got apologies at number 2. Great shots there by Mendez. Mendez did take first game there, Candlewall, putting her in a slightly tough spot there. But not enough. Asher with that just high topspin shot. Just aggressive enough to force errors and force the error of the winner, but not so aggressive enough. Sometimes you just don't need to just pound the ball. Just have enough high aggressive topspin to get the job done over there. That wind is making things just a little tough. We're seeing more and more balls hit higher in the air just to get the ball back into play. You see number 2, ball's traveling 20 feet above the air. And Mendez takes advantage of that from Candlewall, taking that game as well. Putting her in a slight deficit, only down 2-1. But certainly putting up a good fight in the second set. Sultanova clinches Averett's second point over at number 3. Defeating Noe von Isvong of the Quakers. Dropping a single game. 6-0, 6-0. It's a great win for Sultanova, who's been in really good form as of late. It's her 4th straight win, 8th win of the season, 4th win in conference. Just a few matches away from the win. Seem to follow suit. Momentum I need a clinch. First set finally 6-2 with Belknap. But what's been such a key strength for the Cougars this season is their lower half of the lineup, and they're just doing that. Keller only a game away at number 6, 6-0, 5-0. Kopp 6-0, 3-0, and Asher 6-1, 3-0. That's really the key in college tennis. While your top players can take care of the job, when it comes do or die, it's lower half the lineup that really digs in and just does their part right. Luckily, pressure's a little not as high for Avery with the lead they have currently, but still getting the job done is impressive nonetheless. benched on court 6 with Aunt Geller. She takes out Bethany Lupo 6-0, 6-0, putting the Quakers just a point away from elimination in the ODAC tournament. Averett just went away from advancing to another semifinal. We'll keep an eye on the lower courts as 4 and 5 seem to be the closest, with both Archie Asher and City Cott up 3-0 in their respective second sets after taking the first set. Only just over an hour in, and the work has truly been done here. Simply just taking care of business here for Cougars. Sitting caught a long point here. So is Salgado, and she takes that one. Asher there with another great down line forehand. That's what arbiter, best shot all match. Caught doing a great job there as well. So there's games away from the win.
There's a tree right there that has shade. Oh, in the... Oh, I'll put it
Asher again, just pushing Chandler Sizemore to the brink. And that wraps action up. Asher. Excuse me. City caught. Got the remaining victory for Averett. 6-0, 6-0 over Amy Soto Salgado. And Averett wraps up their first win in the conference tournament, 4-0 over the 7th seeded Guilford Quakers. Just a dominant showing from Averett here. I mean, from first doubles, going straight to singles, it just looked like they were always ahead, had to front the gas constantly, not giving the Quakers a single second to breathe, essentially. So that's a quality win there from Averett. Just taking care of business and advancing to yet another ODAC semifinal. Averett will be taking on the winner of the Sweetbriar and Rainoff match to be contested today and advance to the semifinals. Hosted by Washington Lee, So Averett will be back in action on Saturday, May 3rd, if weather pans well. That match will be contested in the second of the semifinals matches, around 11 a.m. Be sure to stay tuned in AverettCougars.com, as we'll have updated links for watching, being able to view the matches, as well as following the live stats versus Averett's next opponent in the semifinals. Thank you again, everyone, for coming out for today's ODAC quarterfinal coverage between Averett and Guilford. Once again, I'm Dominic Corsinia, signing off on the Averett Sports Network. Thanks for a great spring showing this season. We'll see you soon.